my major area of interest in cell therapy is to make use of the cells which are isolated from the tumor in order to make an antigen preparation which becomes a vaccine for the patient. And on top of that, you can also make use not only of the cells of the tumor of the patient, but also of the cells of the immune system of the patient to do some immune therapy using these cells to improve the vaccination process. That is my interest in cell therapy in general. And you, Marius, what is your...
Currently, the main area of research is the use of dendritic cells, which are the main activators of a specific cellular immune response for cancer therapy. And we have also clinical experience with perform experimental research, and just to educate the patients or the patient's relatives, dendritic cells to properly educate the immune system, to properly activate the immune system in a cancer patient, so that the soldiers of the immune system, CD8 T cells, would be able to, even if not to kill, just to keep under control the existing cancer in the patient's body. It means if it can't destroy it completely, the sufficient response is just to keep a stable disease, just to have an equilibrium. So that's the main, at the moment, interest of research. And further, we are thinking about when we induce these T cells. This has already been done in the world, to use these dendritic cell-induced T cells to isolate them from the patient, to reactivate them, to expand them, and to inject back into the patient. So mainly it's cell-based immunotherapies for cancer patients.
Okay. Thank you, Marius. Okay, then we move on to the next question, and the next question is, what is your major achievement in this field? Do you want to start and continue?
Okay, now we are running a phase 1-2 clinical trial. We are planning another one, and basically now we use dendritic cell vaccination on a compassionate use programs, and we have good survival data and good response data, one of which I'll present here in this conference, in ovarian cancer patients, in glioblastoma patients, in melanoma patients, and mainly my achievements personal are the clinical application and the implementation of this treatment for cancer patients.
Okay, good. Thank you. My personal, let me see the question. My personal major achievement in this field is that we made use of this cell therapy, which we just explained, and we have now the first clinical data which were generated under compassionate use conditions. That means that we were allowed to treat patients which had no treatment option left after standard of care. And these patients were treated based on the vaccine that we made, on the cellular vaccine, and we have good results so far in terms of overall survival, and also very impressive results if you look at the MRI scans in the brain. But the most important topic is, of course, quality of life, which is good, safety, which is also good in general, with minor headaches sometimes observed occasionally, but that is a minor problem considering the disease. And that is the achievement so far, and we hope that we can prolong this pathway and achieve further results in the future in a clinical trial, which has just been started in the United States. Okay. And then to the last question, how do you envision the next 5 to 10 years in cell therapy in your country and worldwide? Do you want to start, Marius?
Yes, I really believe, and I am convinced with the current data, that immunotherapy will become the mainstream standard cancer treatment for the patients, both with advanced disease and early stage of disease. And my purpose is to, and not purpose, but my vision is the proper combination of immunotherapies with current standard cancer treatments, which has already been shown to be effective, in particular with radiation therapy, with chemotherapy, because for some time it was a dogma that chemotherapy and immunotherapy are completely incompatible due to the potential immunosuppressive effects of chemotherapy. But now it has been shown in several yet small-scale clinical trials that chemotherapy and immunotherapy act synergistically. that they add to the activity of each others. And also to combine different immunotherapeutical strategies together is also the aim and the purpose of cancer immunologists working in this field. It means that, for example, when we induce immune responses by vaccination or other strategies, we can also then use monoclonal antibodies and other means that augment the induced immune responses or awake those that had been silenced by means of cancer. And also, when we combine different therapeutical strategies together with current standard treatment, I believe and I'm sure that we'll achieve a good disease control even in patients with terminal stage disease. But if we implement immunotherapy and in reasonable combination with standard treatments at the early stage of the disease, I think we'll have fewer and fewer patients with terminal stage disease who started treatment at the early onset of the disease, who didn't let them to metastasize. And for those terminal stage patients, immunotherapy, even now, combinational immunotherapies provide very good and very promising results.
Yes. Yes, I fully agree with the opinion of Marius. I also think that immunotherapy will stay. It's not just a temporal hype, because the results are very convincing. There are different strategies, and I think a combination of different immunotherapy strategies will make it even more successful. This can be within the immunology field only, but also in combination with classical therapies. So I think a multimodular approach is the way to go forward, and this may eventually lead to a control of tumor growth in tumor patients, which may eventually turn it into a chronic disease instead of now often a fatal disease. That's my opinion. Thank you.